In fall 2019, I had the opportunity to be a student in Galen Cranz's Body Conscious Design workshop. It was held at the University of Bergen in Norway, where I am currently a Master's in Design student specializing in interdisciplinary design. This was the first time that I was introduced to the concept of body conscious design, and the experience really inspired my work moving forward. From the workshop, I realized how empowering it was to be able to connect with the more unconscious layers of what our bodies are feeling and telling us. It reminded me of how few opportunities we have in our everyday lives to connect with others to talk about pain and well-being, both mental and physical. The difficulty is that these are things that are not easy to talk about, especially pain. As someone who has experienced pain due to an autoimmune disease, and meeting many other people around me who live with chronic pain, I have learned just how difficult it can be to talk about pain and get the help you need. This has led me to my thesis project called the Open Pain Movement. The Open Pain Movement can also be called the opium. There is power in these initials. Opium, spelled O-P-I-U-M, is a word you will hear in relation to the opioid crisis. In some cases, these medications are needed, but in many cases, there are alternative solutions that could have been provided if one's pain was better communicated and understood. I am proposing an alternative opium that I hope could help improve the lives of those in pain. This opium is the process of becoming more conscious of your body and opening up about one's pain and needs, with help from the design of tools and workshops, which I will touch on more later. First, I will dig a little deeper into what I mean by the word open. In narrative medicine, it is said that through opening up and sharing our pain, it allows a clearing to form. Like in a forest, it is in these clearings where light shines in and more life can grow. This openness can also allow for more space for conversations, leading to more insight into what could help someone. Whether it be with a designer to help improve the function of a space if someone has a disability, or with a therapist to help one navigate through what they are experiencing. Pain. Pain is something that we will all feel in our lives. For some, it stays a short period of time, and for some, it is chronic. This pain can be both physical and emotional. These are some of the faces of the people in my life that experience chronic pain. One thing we can say for sure about pain, especially with chronic pain, is that it has many complex layers and can only truly be understood when someone shares their unique story. Movement. Movement is the last word in the title of this project, and it is a very important one because it has a few different meanings. It is a movement, as in a transformation, because I hope that it will help lead to systemic change in both our private and public lives. There needs to be more tools and space that allow people to open up about their pain both at home and at work. And the word movement, because pain is not something that is stagnant. It is constantly changing in form, making it something even harder to communicate. Now that I have touched on these words, I will briefly discuss the tools and workshops that I have been prototyping as part of the Open Pain Movement. I first experimented with a toolbox that includes clay, objects, and a mat, which is used in a one-on-one setting. The placement of the objects and the act of tracing come together to communicate and form a narrative that is unique to each person that uses the toolbox. I have also experimented with more public and community-oriented techniques, which I have tested in workshops. Participants are asked to mold their pain and their power. These objects become prompts for conversation with others, making it easier for people to talk about their pain. Through conversation with others in the workshop and movement of both objects and body, it helps to communicate complex layers of one's pain that in many cases have not been shared before, and the participants may not have even been conscious of. It has been exciting for me to go through the design process and develop and test these tools. It has been a collaborative process that I hope will form into a greater movement. This was a brief introduction to the Open Pain Movement. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions or feedback, I would love to hear from you.